Hi, I am Senator Diane Bellemare. I represent Quebec, the district of Alma, which is the eastern part of Montreal and the island of Laval. This is another capsule, another video about Senate reforms. And as I expressed it previously, I will talk about some change that we can adopt in the Senate to improve its performance without any constitutional change. As you know, there's a lot of critiques that we hear around the Senate that its performance as a chamber of sober second thought is not as great as it could be. People say with those great powers, how come the Senate sometimes act as if it was rubber stamping bills from the other chamber? So today we'll talk about this question, and to start, let us look at the facts. The Senate of Canada has indeed a lot of power. It has a veto power on the bills coming from the lower house. It can amend the bills, but the process by which these amendments will go back and forth is sometimes complex. While it has a lot of power, the Senate of Canada didn't use them very much. They did amend and reject bills in the first half of the 19th century. But since 1960, the Senate amended 116 times bills coming from the lower house. And that's include the 33 amendments made since 2000. Compared to US, if the Senate of Canada and US has comparable power. But however, if we compare it to UK, which is our spiritual inspiration for our Senate, the House of Lords acts as they have a suspensive veto, meaning that the House of Lords can veto a bill for a year. And then while this is suspended, there's conversation going on between the chambers, and the bill is in evolution. Just coming from UK, Senator Fraser and Senator Nancy Root reported us that on average, the House of Lords amends 4,000 times the bills in a year. So that's a lot of amendments compared to the Canadian Senate. So on the matter of the facts, we can see that indeed the Senate of Canada, even though it has an absolute veto power, it doesn't use it very much. We can wonder why the Senate, with all its powers, don't use them more often. There's at least two reasons for that. First of all, if they were objecting government bills or even MPs' bills, often and always proposing amendments, the Canadian population would not be glad about that. They would say, how come unelected senators don't adopt and block government bills? And they will be right about that. And we'll return to this question in another video. But there's also another reason for that. Because sometimes some bills coming from the lower house, especially MPs' bills, need to be corrected, need to be amended, because they don't pass through the same scrutiny as government bills. Government bills usually are studied in the Minister of Justice by lawyers, while it's not compulsory for MP's bill to follow the same procedure. So sometimes it should be amended, but it's not. Why? Because senators vote on party line. So it passes bills sometimes that could be perfected. And that's really sad in a sense, because the duty of a senator is to be a chamber of sober second thought, and it should be to improve. Its value added is to improve the bills. And in doing improvement in the bills, then it has very positive effects in all the legislation of the government. The legislation is more clear and has no error. I think we can change this fact without any constitutional amendment, without restricting the power of the chamber, but in the practice of studying the bills, I think we could do it in a way so that the debate in the Senate are being more rational and less ideological. In order to change the way the Senate adopt or study bills, we should, by convention, oblige ourselves to answer specific questions that are nonpartisan, that are rational, and in committee, and oblige the committee to report to the Senate as a whole and answer specifically all of these questions. And by doing so, the debate will be more rational. Let us look at the question. So I propose 10 questions. The first one is, first of all, is the bill in front of us, is the bill constitutional? Second, is it in line with the constitutional division of powers between the provinces and the federal government? Third, does it comply with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? 4, does the bill violate international or national treaties and conventions? 5, does it run counter to the interest of any province or territory in particular? 6, does it infringe on the rights of a minority group, of the rights of the First Nation, for example? 7, does it unduly harm a given economic group, such as the business community, workers, farmers, artists, or professionals? Have their concerns been addressed in the bill? 8, was the process followed in the lower house democratic, and did it allow for proper consultations? 9, did the bill brought an outcry from the general public? Is that outcry justified? Could adjustments be made? And finally, is the bill well drafted? Are there errors? Is the French and English version coherent? So these are the questions I put forward in the Senate so that we better them. I don't, maybe there's some questions should be revised, but if we were applying this kind of a template to the study of a bill, then the debate would hardly be ideological, because with this question, if a bill is unconstitutional, or if it looks like there's an infringement in the charters of bills and rights, why the Senate would then adopt such a bill, because it's not coherent with the fundamental principles of our society of rights. So I propose that committees do that, and I propose that a convention be applied. And if we do it, by doing it, then maybe we could, after that, enshrine this convention in our rules and procedures. So I believe that with such a study, and at the same time, if we could have a resolution of conflicts between the two chambers when amendments are proposed, that would put a limit in the time that the bills go back and forth, I think we would be more helpful, and we would do a great job for Canadians. Thank you very much for watching this video, and you can subscribe to our Twitter account. You can visit my website also, and leave any comments on the space that is there for that reason. and maybe see you next time for another subject. Thank you.